Oh my god. When I said be discreet, Santa, I didn't mean hide the bodies on the floor. Santa has mangled his entire workshop of elves. Hello?
That's amazing. Oh my god.
What's amazing?
Best thing I've seen tonight, your beard.
He's literally punching through his head. Man. What is going on, YouTube? I'd like to welcome you guys back to Red's World. So today we're gonna be doing something I did last year and I regret what I picked last year. Number one is NBA 2K21 Next Gen. You know, sometimes we all say stupid things. Yeah, that just happened to be mine. It just happened to be on camera. But that's alright, because we're going to redeem ourselves this year. This is going to be my top 10 games of Christmas, aka gifts to get for people for Christmas, or the top 10 games of 2021. Also, with this one, I'm going to add 5 games to stay away from. So we're going to make this one a little bit quicker than last year's. Here at number 10, we got It Takes Two. Now, It Takes Two is a co-op adventure game. There's some platforming and things like that. It Takes Two is really fun. It's a crazy story basically about two people who are having trouble in their marriage, and throughout the game you go through steps of trying to heal their marriage after, you know, they've been turned into dolls through some crazy magic. So in order to, you know, get back or whatever, they have to do some crazy things. But it's a lot of fun, really good co-op game. I think this one's really good for couples and, you know, friends that enjoy adventure games, but this one is definitely one that I enjoyed. I played it on the channel. You guys should definitely check the game out. It's a good one. At number 9, we have Metroid Dread. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Metroid games, but a lot of people love these games. And honestly, this one's pretty refreshing. You know, we got a lot of games that are clones and mimics and so on and so forth. And this one actually brought some fresh ideas and stuff. If you have a Switch and you want a game that's a side-scroller, but it's also got a lot of layers to it, this is a good one. Switch doesn't usually make my list. Animal Crossing is one of the ones that was really solid on it, but Metroid here is a game I think you gotta check out if you have a Switch. Alright, at number 8 we have Lost in Random. This game is a very Tim Burton-esque adventure game. It's honestly refreshing to see a game with such a unique world, so many weird NPCs. The story is pretty solid. This is one that has a really unique mechanic. You can basically collect cards, but then you gotta throw dice to tells you the power level of the cards you could select. It's kind of weird, it's a weird one, but it's definitely fun. And if you're into these types of weird games with the weird dystopia Tim Burton kind of feel, definitely check this one out. This one's pretty solid. At number 7, we have Chivalry 2. Now, with Chivalry 2, one of my favorite things about this game is there are a lot of types of gameplay. You can play one-on-one in private matches and things like that, and they're very competitive. The combat is pretty solid. Also, you can play free-for-alls where everyone is just going crazy. They have different game types where you're like at a feast in a castle and everyone's fighting with food and just crazy fun stuff. But also there's 40-player battles and 64-player battles. I'd almost compare it to something like Battlefield with swords. This game can be absolutely crazy. There's a lot of fun to be had here. There's good customization. This game is pretty solid. It's a pretty good game in my opinion. It reminds me of more throwback multiplayer games where it's just all about the gameplay and the fun. You don't feel suckered into buying things, and you can actually grind for things and just have a lot of fun while doing so. Alright, at number 6, we have the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Now, Mass Effect is one of the greatest trilogies of all time. We're not going to talk about Andromeda. We don't talk about that game. But the trilogy was incredible, and this was a proper remaster. This game was really good, or this remaster collection was really good. Definitely an RPG lover's game. But this is BioWare at its best. This is RPGs at their best. This game is an incredible game. These games are incredible games, and the remaster did it justice. I highly recommend this one. I usually don't like to throw remasters in, but this, I mean, this is as good as it gets right here for gaming. So definitely check out Mass Effect Legendary Edition. At number 5, we have another remaster. It's Yakuza Remastered Collection. But with that one, I'm also going to throw in Lost Judgment just because they're pretty much the same concept. Lost Judgment is a spiritual successor to... Judgment is a spiritual successor to Yakuza, and this is the second Judgment game, and the Yakuza Remastered Collection is definitely worth checking out. These games are really good. The Remastered Collection was really good. Lost Judgment is also really good. If you haven't played Yakuza, check it out, man. It's a lot of fun, honestly. It's one of my favorite series, and I just got into it like a year ago, so definitely check it out, man. At number 4, we have Subnautica Below Zero. Now, I played this game on the channel one time, and I could not figure out how to play it at all, and I stopped playing it. But my girlfriend actually started playing it, and she played it beside me, and then all of a sudden I was like, hey, wait a minute, now I figured this out, and blah blah blah, and after a long, just slow, excruciating grind to figure the game out, this game is great. I mean, it's great. It's one of the better, weird, you just feel stranded. It's really no direction, but you find stories, like, it feels like a barren wasteland until you start to uncover everything. Then there's a really good, neat story behind it. You can build your base up pretty well. It doesn't stop until the game is over. From beginning, it's very slow. As soon as you start to figure everything out, it's just like, oh, wait a minute, oh, and it just gets better and better and better, and it's an absolute gem. I feel like everyone should check this one out. At number 3, fittingly enough, we have Hitman 3. Hitman 3, man, I can't say enough about this game. There's so many things that you can do, so many ways you can take out targets, so many things that can completely alter everything in the mission. Every mission has so many options, there's so many different ways, so many things to do within this playground. One playthrough is literally not doing it justice. By the time you play the game for the 5th time, then you start to understand, oh man, I can literally do this infinite ways. There's infinite possibilities, and the more creative you are, the more fun it is. Absolutely gem of a game. They don't really make them quite like this anymore, and I personally think that this is one of the better playground, freedom of choice games that has come to be. There's a lot of references to pop culture things also, as well as relevant stories. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's some good stuff here, and honestly, visually, it's really good. Performance-wise, it's really good. A lot of fun to be had in this game. This game is absolutely worth your time and money. And number 2, this game is an absolute gem. Resident Evil Village. I know a lot of people are saying this game is good, and there's a reason for that. This game is a good return to form for the more, horror-based, puzzle-based Resident Evil. There's a lot of atmosphere. This game is terrifyingly creepy. There's just so much going on in this world that just makes it feel classic. It's not too often that you actually get a classic retro feeling game with updated combat, updated graphics. It literally feels the same as the first few Resident Evil games, except modern, and that is extremely hard to achieve, and I think they nailed it. If you like Resident Evil, you like horror, action games, things like that, check this one out. This game is a masterpiece in my opinion. Before we get to number 1, let's talk about top 5 games to avoid for this Christmas. We're just going to throw them all out there. We got NBA 2K22, Call of Duty Vanguard, Battlefield 2042, Madden 22, and pretty much shooters in general. Shooters are in a really bad place right now. Everyone is toxic, everyone is cheating, and with these other games, it's as toxic as it gets. They're as cheesy and as bad as they get. And to be honest, if you thoroughly enjoy these games, get it, you're still gonna like it. It's not that different. But if you're thinking you're gonna get this new game and it's gonna be the new game and it's gonna be so good, just avoid it, man. These games are exactly the same, and they're getting worse because the community is getting worse and cheating is becoming more prevalent, and just avoid these games. But at number 1, and this one might upset you guys, but Xbox Game Pass, man. I could go on and on and on about Xbox Game Pass. If you do not have an Xbox and you do not have a PC, it is unfortunate for you because you are missing literally the best service that has ever happened in gaming. Back in the day, we would go to Blockbuster and rent a game for $5. For $5 more, you have access to a nearly infinite library of games that's constantly being updated. I am not sponsored. I'm not obligated to say this. Xbox Game Pass is insane. Just to give you a couple games that are on it that are absolute great games and could have been in this list, and some of the ones in this list, including the Yakuza Remastered collection, Subnautica Below Zero, and so on and so forth. These games are also on the Game Pass. And it doesn't stop there. I mean, it keeps going and going and going. Game Pass is by far the best gaming gift of this holiday season. If you can buy a year subscription for somebody, or even a month, I mean, Game Pass is insane. If you do not have Game Pass, you can access it on your phone. You don't even have to have a console. You can cloud game. Now, some games, I ain't gonna lie, they ain't the greatest. But as far as just bang for your buck, Game Pass is untouched. I mean, Game Pass, in my opinion, is the greatest thing that's happened to gaming in a long time. And I can't praise it enough, and I appreciate Microsoft making the Game Pass accessible for everybody, affordable, and just continuing to deliver gem after gem. I've played so many games that I bought came to Game Pass 2 months later, and a lot of people are like, oh, I paid for that game, now it's free. I'm glad that other people get to experience the games. Now, if I would have waited, I would have got it for free. But I am glad that other people get to experience those games. And then I could say, hey man, I played that game, check that one out. Game Pass is fire. It doesn't get better than Game Pass, seriously. But Game Pass is where it's at for this holiday season. We won't be making any outlandish calls like we did last year. Number one is NBA 2K21 next year. You know what? We all make mistakes, man. Leave it alone, okay? Just leave it alone. I've matured. That will never happen again, okay? But in all seriousness, thank you guys for coming to Red's World. Stay tuned for more to come soon, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.